Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. This past weekend, January 31st, 2016, it was announced that Calvin Johnson, the star receiver for the Detroit Lions in the National Football League, plans to retire. And this news for Lions fans is the most heartbreaking news they've heard since Barry Sanders unexpectedly retired in 1999. After Sanders' retirement, the Denver Broncos would go on to win the Super Bowl. And this Calvin Johnson announcement is giving me deja vu in light of the fact it comes the week before the Super Bowl with the Broncos having an opportunity to win it. Notice the announcement came on January 31st, 131. Remember, these are the numbers that correspond with Super Bowl, championship. Also, when you write out 57, it sums to 131 like Super Bowl and championship. Calvin Johnson in Gematria equals 57. He even has birth numerology of 57. And for anyone who's new here, I just want you to know that my work is well established, well researched, and based in all sorts of historical evidence. Look at this article from ESPN earlier this year. The 57 high school football players in Indiana named Peyton after Peyton Manning. Look at the timestamp, 131. This kind of stuff is going on in the media all the time. You will only know it if you know the code of numerology and gematria. Type in how to gematria in YouTube. My video will come up. Take the time to watch the first 10 minutes and you will have this skill. Very worth it. Anyhow, this year the Super Bowl 50, has a major connection to the Lions and also Calvin Johnson. We're going to go through his retirement, Barry Sanders, and more. Lots of useful knowledge coming here. With regards to the Super Bowl being at the golden anniversary with all the gold focus on uniforms this year, on fields and logos, Calvin Johnson's number 81 corresponds with the word gold in Jewish gematria. This year, the 49ers are hosting, named after the gold rush of 1849. They're hosting the Super Bowl on February 7th, the 38th day of the year. Notice that gold in simple English gematria also equals 38. Lots of gold connections this year. As for Calvin Johnson, his nickname is Megatron, which has gematria of 39 and 93. Both important numbers. This year, Peyton Manning's 39 years old. Charlotte, the city, has gematria of 39. Denver on the 39th parallel. As I often explain, the World Series and the Super Bowl are often connected. The Kansas City won the World Series this year on the 39th parallel by defeating New York, one of few states with a gematria of 39. The big way, it sums to 93, another number connected to the gold rush. California gold rush has gematria of 93. Nuggets equals 93. Think of gold nuggets. This past weekend, there was the death of a former Nugget who invented the jump shot. I have a video on that. His death is connected to this Super Bowl. I just brought up the World Series. The Royals team was coached by Ned Yost, which had gematria of 39, a name that almost sounds like New York. This year, the Royals and Mets will play on the 93rd day of the year to open the season. No coincidence. Sports scripted by the numbers. Remember, the only game New York won was with a score of 3-9. Anyhow, this number 39 and 93, it connects to Saturn. Saturn is the keeper of time. Saturn in gematria sums to 93 as well as 21 and 30. Barry Sanders retired at 30. Megatron is retiring at 30. And this year's Super Bowl has a lot of connections to the 85 Bears, which won it 30 years ago. Calvin Johnson, born September 25th, 1985, the year the Bears dominated, won the Super Bowl 46-10 over the Patriots with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. Remember, Chicago equals 46. This year's the 46th Super Bowl of the modern era. Chicago's the birthplace of football. Ron Rivera was on that Bears team that won 46-10 with the revolutionary 4-6 defense. The Bears went 15-1 that year. The Panthers are 15-1. The Panthers have a chance to become the fourth team to win 18 games in a season on a Super Bowl played on a date with 18 numerology. Let us not forget that Manning's in his 18th season and wears the number 18. Anyhow, Calvin Johnson in gematria, 57 and 66. Calvin Johnson in simple English gematria sums to 156. The number 911 is the 156th prime, and in a minute we'll talk about the significance of 911. The date Calvin Johnson was born, a date with 57 numerology, corresponding with his name, Super Bowl championship. Also a date with 138 numerology. When you add 138 plus its reflection, 831, it sums to 969, which connects to the speed of Saturn. Remember, Saturn, the keeper of time, having the connections to Megatron. He's also born on a date with numerology of 39, like his nickname Megatron. And he's also born on a date with numerology of 119, the reflection of 911, the way the date was written on September 11th in most parts of the world. Special number. Earlier this year I did a video, CBS's countdown to the Super Bowl, 119 days remaining. All-seeing eye equals 119. CBS's network is the all-seeing eye. These are special numbers. Johnson, again born in 85. National Football League equals 85. This is the 50th Super Bowl, but the 46th of the modern era, which started with the 5th Super Bowl when the AFL and NFL merged, becoming the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference. Let's not forget that in 85, a 13-game winning streak began by the NFC. First it was the 49ers, then it was the Bears. That streak was ended by the Denver Broncos. This week, the 30 for 30 coming out on ESPN's about the 85 Bears, and I've been talking about this connection for weeks now. If Megatron does retire, notice that he'll finish his career with 83 touchdowns. Again, 83, the football number. Peyton Manning born on the 83rd day. Colorado, the big way, equals 83. The small way, 38. It's the 38th state on the 38th day of the year the Super Bowl is. Panthers equals 38. Another amazing stat from him is that he has 41 touchdowns over 40 yards. The name Johnson having gematria of 41, just like Super Bowl. This NFL, it's scripted by the numbers. His career long is a 96-yarder. I'm sure a scripted play. The word Freemasons, 96. The NFL's turning 96 years old this year. The NFL created by Freemasons. Also notice that he was a Lion. And Lion has gematria 50. This announcement comes just the week before Super Bowl 50. Super Bowl has gematria 41 and 50. San Francisco hosting Super Bowl 50. 49ers and Lions joined the NFL in the same year. So now let's check out Barry Sanders, who also retired at age 30, also a Detroit Lion. Notice that the name Sanders has gematria 44. Keep that number in mind. The name Barry Sanders in simple English gematria sums to 144. When you write out 44 as a word and sum it in gematria, it sums to 144. Just like when you write out the date April 4th and sum it, it sums to 144. 44, 44. Our language, our calendar, it's all synced up through this code. This is how the Freemasons who've built this world around us have done it. English is their creation, the Gregorian calendar is their creation, and so much more. Even the sport of football. They pride themselves on being the invisible architects of society. Again, Saturn, the keeper of time. The word time in Jewish gematria equals 144. Megatron and Barry Sanders retiring at age 30, which connects to Saturn, keeper of time. Barry Sanders' birth numerology, interesting. Numerology of 110. Notice he was born in the year 68. That's the year that World Trade Center construction started. The World Trade Centers were 110 stories tall. That's the year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. That's also the year George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones, the Masonic Order. 33 years later, he'd become president and 911 would happen. 911 was blamed on Osama bin Laden, who has name gematria of 110. Those buildings, also being 110 stories tall, were proposed by the Rockefeller family. Rockefeller equals 110. Special numbers. The day he was born, a life lesson number of 47. Remember, first Super Bowl in the 47th year of the league. The year he retired, the Broncos went on to win Super Bowl 33. Also on September 11th, Building 7 that fell 8 hours later in the day was only 47 floors tall. Named after Haim Solomon, who financed the American Revolutionary War, a Zionist Jew. He died in history on April 7th. No joke. He died at the age of 44. Sanders also born on a date with 38 numerology. Remember this year's Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year. He went to OSU, the Masonic University that I've done a lot of work on, school that nobody should go to. Notice he finished his career with 99 touchdowns, retiring in 99. The date he retired on had numerology of 44, like the name Sanders. Remember when you write out 44, it sums to 144, just like Barry Sanders sums to 144. Something tells me Barry Sanders was forced to retire on this day. It was not his own choosing. Shown that with other athletes. Now, with regards to this lion symbolism, let me take you back to last year's halftime show with Katy Perry riding on the lion. Do you remember this? It was Super Bowl 49, and there was a lot of things that reminded me of Revelation here. Revelation equals 49. Katy Perry equals 49. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible. Again, NFL and Jewish gematria equals 66. First Super Bowl in the end of the 66th season. Revelation 4:7 says the first living creature was like a lion. The second was like an ox. The third had a face like a man. The fourth was like a flying eagle. Revelation 7:4 talks about the number 144,000. Last year's Super Bowl was in Glendale, Arizona, which has gematria of 144. It was the first Super Bowl to feature a Scientology commercial. Scientology equals 144, which was established in Phoenix, close by to Glendale. Both teams who met in the Super Bowl came in with 14-4 records, the Seahawks and Patriots. Big number on last year's game. These Bible verses syncing up. And with regards to the lion, it was built in Oregon, the 33rd state, the only state with a gematria of 74. And as it happens, halftime has gematria of 74. The halftime show, also a very Masonic celebration. Masonic equals 74, always full of Masonic symbolism. Also, with regards to Revelation, the numbers used most in that book of the Bible are the numbers 7 and 4. Revelation's the 66th book of the Bible. Think about 66 in light of this Super Bowl. The winner of Super Bowl 50, a tradition that began in the 66th season, gets a giant 5 and 0. The 5 weighs 33 pounds, so does the 0, meaning the trophy's 66 pounds. The 49ers hosting the Super Bowl have been in the league for 66 years. Also, let's not forget they get the Vince Lombardi trophy. Vince Lombardi died with 96 career wins the day before the start of the 70 season. He died on September 3rd, written 9/3 or 3/9. A lot like 39. The word trophy has a gematria of 39. Again, Manning's 39 years old this year. Charlotte equals 39. Denver on the 39th parallel. Revelations based on the 39 books of the Old Testament. NFL and Jewish gematria equals 66. Again, when you write out 50, it sums to 66. Church of Satan established in San Francisco in 66. When you write out 33, it sums to 66. With regards to Katy Perry, who did the halftime show last year with the Revelation Connections, earlier in the year she was shown wearing this 86. And 86 is an important number. Symbol, triangle, pyramid equal 86. This year, the Super Bowl comes 86 days after the Paris terror attack hoax. I talked about this back in November. Bataclan Theater, where the majority of deaths happen, has gematria of 131, just like Super Bowl, just like Save a Prayer. All of these stories are riddles coming to a head. And I don't want to make a conclusion about what that head is, but the writing's on the wall, truth seeker. Hiroshima bombing was on 8/6/1945. This year the Super Bowl's on a date with 45 numerology. The people who built the World Trade Centers built Levi's Stadium. Anyhow, please wake up to what's going on. Please recognize the rigging. Please learn this gematria and numerology language. You'll be roaring like Katy Perry in last year's Super Bowl halftime show. Until next time.